Screen Heroes. We are missing our fearless leader tonight, so bear with us. I have already sounded like an ass.
Yes. It's true.
So, big stuff tonight, guys.
Is it?
I think so.
I'm really excited for whatever big stuff is happening.
Rogue One!
Yay!
This is called the teaser trailer, and I'm really excited because it's 2 minutes long. There's a lot in there. To me, that's not a teaser. That's just a full-blown trailer.
Oh, yeah. Marvel trailer or teaser trailers are between a minute 40 and 2 minutes.
Marvel teaser trailers are just
basically
the
full
logo.
trailers.
That's true. Yeah,
It's just a black thing, and it's just the logo
That's
coming
true.
at you
For like 40
years.
seconds.
Well, it's 2 years before they actually release the movie.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll be talking about. As you guys know, I'm Rae. I'm a Super Siren Cosplay Editor-in-Chief on The Grid. I am a normal podcast host. I think I've only missed one of these so far. And to my left and right are cohorts. Guys, introduce yourself.
I'm a cohort.
Sound more sexy, please.
Yes. Hi, I'm Haus of Turner Cosplay. I've been on a few times.
Do you have a name other than that?
No.
Okay. That's
Okay.
good to know. We'll just call you Haus of Turner Cosplay.
Yep.
Das Haus.
That's right. It's German. I'm Ryan.
Yeah, good job.
You probably know me already.
Fine, I'm Ian. I'll be conform to society. And have
All
a
right,
name.
so we are off to a great
Yes, we are
start.
ripping and roaring.
This is
Ready to go?
Just awesome. But we're going to start by rewatching the trailer. We're going to react during it. So if you have not seen the trailer, probably not the time to do it with our loud mouths talking over it.
No.
Or you can join us and talk too. Chat away. We have our lovely assistant, Nicole, ready to chat with you throughout this whole thing. No, she doesn't like any of you, so don't worry about it.
She did this nice little BB-8 watercolor we got going on up here.
Okay, now I'll chat with you.
There we go.
Check it out. Check out her page, Crystal Bat Designs. She does all kinds of sweet, awesome custom things.
Pimping out Nicole.
That's right. Nobody else does, so I have to.
Oh. All right, well, we're going to be watching the trailer. We'll give you a couple seconds to get it loaded up if you want to do this with us. So we're going to start this. 3, 2, 1, go!
That was unexpected.
Did you hit it? Oh, you did.
Calm down, Ian.
Good music so
State
far?
your name
Oh,
for the
yeah.
record.
Well, it's because it's already been written.
What's her last
Forgery of imperial
so.
documents.
Okay.
Possession of stolen property. Aggravated assault. Resisting arrest.
I like her.
On your own from the age of 15. Reckless, aggressive, and undisciplined.
I'm glad we see
This
Mon
is a
Mothma
rebellion,
again.
isn't it?
Did you see Alan Tudyk's character walking behind her there?
I did not.
I rebel.
I'm not.
It's rumored.
She is probably one of the best casting choices. She looks so similar
Oh, yeah.
We have a
to
mission for you.
the charactor in the
Mon
original.
Mothma.
A major
Yeah.
weapons
And that
test
Star
is
Destroyer
imminent.
shot
We
looks
need
like a
to know
freaking
what
model.
it is and how to
Like,
destroy it.
it just does.
Beautiful.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Hate that noise.
That's my new alarm.
That dude's awesome.
Yeah. Forrest Whitaker.
Being badass for
When
Spinnaker.
they catch you. What will you do if they break you?
And that
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
If you continue to fight,
Imperial Walkers.
And AT-AT Designs.
what will you become?
And it's an IMAX 3D.
Very, very.
So, Mark, this past year has been an amazing one for Star Wars. Not
Yeah,
only did the
stop
fans
it.
help to make The Force Awakens a global success, they've also helped to raise...
Yeah.
All right. So
Sorry, Kathleen Kennedy.
that I had no idea that was sitting behind the laptop. That threw me off. That was a really fun trailer.
That
I
was.
absolutely loved it, and I would go see the movie based off of that alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm done for trailers. I don't need any more. Jin has got my
we'll
money.
get 2 or 3 more probably.
I
but yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah.
Like TV clips that'll come out that are inevitable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Just like every big movie. They did the same thing with Force Awakens.
Leak scenes 3 days before it opens.
Let's
Ooh.
hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Hey,
no.
it just happened today. Ant-Man's clip was leaked.
That wasn't leaked. It was played on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's an official release.
Okay. That's
But
fine,
yeah, I
guess.
mean, at this point with that movie, it's like we've seen probably like 20, 25 minutes of the movie already,
That's
and it
true.
hasn't even released. It's getting to be that way with every movie now. It's
That's
kind of
very
unfortunate.
true. Not a lot to surprise. So, what were your guys' first impressions of everything?
I love it. It's reminds me very much of New Hope, obviously because it takes place between episodes 3 and 4.
Right.
Closer to episode 4 than episode 3, obviously. And it has that 70s kind of vibe with, how the sets look.
It does look very connected. They did a great job not making it too distant with technology.
True. I agree.
Yeah,
How
lots of
about
throwbacks between the droids and things like that. You had the little whatever
The
that
Gronk droid?
Yeah, the Gronk droid or
Yep.
Gronk droid or whatever it's called. Yeah, the little trash can droid, and there was like an R5 unit that
Yeah, I
was
saw
over the
that too.
side, and the old bucket helmets for the
And they were
Yavin
X-Wings
base.
and, yep.
Yeah. What got me was obviously if you read the grid stuff at all, I did an article back when Force Awakens came out about the relations between the expanded universe stuff and what they actually did in the movie. And in this trailer alone, based on the story, we know that it's stealing the plans for the first Death Star.
Right.
There was a game or a series of games that came out that followed a character named Kyle Katarn.
Yep.
And his partner was named Jan Orr.
Yep.
Or Ors, I think. Which
Jan
is,
Ors.
This character's name is Jin Orso, and there's another character that looks a lot like Kyle Katarn. So it's a very, and those characters were really cool in this video game series. I feel like that wasn't a coincidence that the names are very similar.
Well, now it makes more sense that Disney wiped the extended universe and just said it was myths
It's
or
legends,
legends
yep.
or something.
Yeah.
Because now it seems like they are lifting it, but not all of it did make sense with the previous stories. So
Yeah.
now they can use these great characters that fans and creators came up with over the years to expand Star Wars and make it make sense with the other 6 films, now 7 films.
And those characters in the video games were stealing the Death Star plans. So I mean, it's the same story. Oh, probably not the same story, but elements of it may be lifted from that. So that makes me excited. Obviously, instead of having Kyle Katarn be the main hero, it's going to be Jyn Orso in this case. So that's fine with me. I don't care who it is, but it's a cool story. I really hope that they take some elements. Those are one of my favorite video game series. So
I completely agree. As a cosplayer, I'm incredibly impressed with just the level of costuming in this.
Oh, yeah.
As I was in the previous film, I thought that Ray's costume was really well done, but at the same time, just very plain. I want to cosplay Jin's black rebel uniform. It's
this like smuggler outfit.
It looks more...
the one at the end where she has
that's
the
the
rebel.
Oh, that's
Empire.
Empire.
That's
Oh,
Empire.
it is?
Yeah.
That was the Empire
That's the
logo.
Empire.
My bad.
That's
She's
why
wearing
they
like
go,
a-
what will you become? And then she's wearing like the all black with the Empire.
She's wearing like a
rebel.
TIE fighter outfit almost. Or like a
Almost
Death
like a
Star
TIE
gunner.
pilot, yeah.
Well, I apologize for my Star Wars ignorance. I am
It's okay.
totally a bandwagon fan, and
It's okay.
I completely admit that.
We have a lot of those. If you're a fan of Star Wars and people are coming in new to it, if you're going to be a jerk about it, then you might as well, keep it to yourself, because we got a lot of new fans coming in, and that's great.
That's the point of continuing these franchises. If you're going to make movies 10 to 15 years after the last one was made, your goal is to bring in new fans. I mean, that should be the first goal, because you want this to continue as long
Absolutely.
as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want the kids to have the same experience that their parents had, 20 or 30.
Exactly.
So.
And unfortunately, when we were all kids, the prequels were in theaters, and they weren't...
Yeah, we kind of were born at an awkward time between like the Return of the Jedi all the way up. Then you got like the re-release of the remastered versions where they
I
had
wasn't
Ewok
quite a
eyes
kid,
and
but I
stuff.
wasn't
Special
quite
editions.
a
Yep.
teen,
Yeah, exactly.
and it just wasn't very fun. I was incredibly bored by the Star Wars prequels because of the constant diplomacy.
Senate meetings.
Yeah.
It was very political.
I mean,
They're all very political.
And I appreciate anyone who wants to try and make their project mean something more. And if that is how the Empire took over, was through politics, that's great, but that is not...
Boring story that nobody wants to see.
Not as entertaining, that's for sure. Nobody wants to see the people sneak in through the back door. They want Independence Day style, especially if your franchise is called Star Wars. Give me the wars.
Yep.
And the stars.
Star Trek is about diplomacy. Star Wars is about wars. Let's see the wars.
Yeah. Let's see some stuff blow up.
So how do you guys feel about anthology films? Like, this one may create its own trilogy, but I absolutely doubt that we'll follow Jyn anywhere after this.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible she could show up in the other anthology movies or whatever. You know, there's rumors that she's related to Poe Dameron or other people, and it's like not everybody needs to be related.
Everything.
There's also rumors that she could be Ray's mom.
No, there's no.
Everybody has their suspicions, and while that's really cool, don't get me wrong. Don't you think by now, if there were only two families ruling this empire that were messing things up for everybody else, they would just take out these two families?
You would think.
Your bloodline's awful, and we're done with you. Can you just not do this
not
anymore?
Not everybody in Star Wars needs to be related to everybody else.
Well, it's fun because this movie is the first movie that doesn't have to deal with the Skywalkers and their screw-ups.
But one of the Skywalkers will be in it, so...
Yes,
that's
but
true.
Not, a center character like the other ones.
No, but he's going to take over the movie. However few minutes he has, it'll be
a cool cameo. It really will, and people will talk about it, but I don't think we'll forget about the entire rest of the film. Just like in this one, Luke Skywalker was in 7 for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Yeah. And
everybody was talking about that.
But at the same time, everybody was talking about Rey and Kylo and Finn and Poe, and nobody has really let those characters fall by the wayside.
No.
So if this movie is just as good and just as successful as Force Awakens, there's no reason why the rest of the story won't also be talked about.
Agreed.
Are there any anthology films that you guys want to see? Any backstories? Any tie-ins? I know there's rumors for an Obi-Wan possibly, or a Mandalorian.
I'd like to see Obi-Wan after the Rise of the Empire and his isolation on Tatooine.
Order 66 type stuff.
Yeah.
Like after they send out the order to kill all the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How he escaped all that. Yeah. And I would like to see his missing years too. It's kind of like Jesus.
That's 19 years.
18 years.
Probably went from being Ewan McGregor to the old, Alec Guinness Obi-Wan. What kind of tool?
That actually wasn't the worst casting ever. Like,
no, that was great casting.
Could evolve.
I don't know. There's been rumors of a Yoda one, and Yoda's always been my favorite character in Star Wars, so I would love to see that. But I feel like even more so, I would love to see, and I might have talked about this before on another podcast, but I really want to see like the seedy underbelly of Coruscant, and like you see
the underworld.
And see this beautiful like city where all the Jedi hang out, and they have the Jedi Council, but underneath that there's probably this huge.
Well, we saw briefly what that was in Episode 2.
Yeah,
and we see it in the Clone Wars expanded a lot.
Yeah, and I mean you could follow. It doesn't have to be a Fett, but you can follow one of the like some bounty hunter and have no Jedi, and just have it be like a mafia drama or something like that almost. That's in the Star Wars universe.
They really dropped the ball in the fact that the Jedi don't want balance. They want utopia. They want to rule by their standards. And while they do keep peace, they are pretty harsh, raising very, very little ones, controlling their marriage and their bloodlines themselves. Like the Jedi can be kind of shady. So if you had a movie that explored that in any way...
That would be interesting. I don't know that a lot of people... I don't know how that would be received, because, I mean, if you really look at the Jedi, that it's a, like, cultish... It's really bad. I mean, and that would almost ruin the rest of the movies, because people would be like, these Jedi are actually the bad guys in these movies, or equally bad, at least. And I mean, it would be certainly interesting to see, but I don't see any way that Disney would do something like that, unfortunately.
Maybe we'll get a Star Wars Netflix series where we can have everything be
They've
dark.
Been talking about that for years. But I would like to see a Boba Fett film, and here's why. Because in Season 4 of The Clone Wars, there was an episode where Boba Fett was leading a bunch of other bounty hunters, including Dengar and Bosk, who we saw in Episode 5.
Right.
They were in the bounty hunter.
They were the bounty hunter lineup,
Thank
and you see Asajj Ventress, you see all these characters.
Pick 'em out. I figured.
Lizard guy and
lizard guy and dude with bandages on his face. Yeah.
So, and do kind of like a heist film, something. They're trying to track down. I don't know what the plot would be, but it would be cool to see him growing in his skills as being a bounty hunter.
That would be good, because since the expanded universe was kind of thrown away, Boba Fett really is the worst bounty hunter on the planet. If you have,
that's why I don't want to see a Boba Fett movie nearly as much. I mean, I would go see it. Don't get me wrong, but I would rather see some
Star Wars
other
on it. You're seeing it, right?
Yeah. I mean, you put anything on it, but I would rather see a different bounty hunter that they can start from the ground up and establishing him as this bad mamma jamma that has more than 3 lines in a movie.
Like no,
I'd like to see an Aura Singh movie, which I don't know if many people know who that is, but she was the bounty hunter in Episode 1. You see for maybe 2 seconds, she leans over the rail, white, has the big ponytail, sniper, and she had a big part, like I said, in the Clone Wars in the expanded universe. But seeing as how they took a lot of that away, it would still be cool.
The Clone Wars and Rebels are still canon because
everything
Disney...
in there is canon, correct?
Okay.
Yes.
You could go really crazy and do like an Old Republic movie. That would be cool.
That'd be
way
cool.
out of the timeline. Do like back when lightsabers had to have like a big battery charger on their hip and they had a cord connected to it and everything.
A lot of people want to see a movie about the creator of the lightsaber or about the first Jedi. I know I've overheard that rumor here.
It would be cool. I don't see Disney doing it, but
no.
I don't either.
Because they like to stick with either expanding upon the original trilogy or in between.
Right.
They don't want to really go back after Episode 3.
I understand that. That makes sense. You know what movie I would be interested in seeing but would be difficult to pitch is something about Darth Maul. The fact that he was
he's alive in Rebels, so I mean,
exactly,
he could do it.
He was this crazy assassin, very strict and talented Darth, and he's just killed by such a pansy little... Done. Sorry, my lightsaber noise isn't as cool as yours.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Apology accepted.
But the only problem with that is if you make a movie centric to the villain, you want to make him a protagonist, and you, taking away his pure evil
kind of like they did with Maleficent. They took away her
Loki.
Evil and Loki. Yeah, it's
they're ruining villains.
If you really want to see that, there's a really great fan film. I can't remember what it's called. That came out in the last 2 or 3 months.
It's like Sith Apprentice or something.
Sith
The Apprentice.
Or something like that. It's actually
extremely,
really
yes.
It's
Does
not
he have the
studio
spider
quality.
legs?
No, it's before Episode 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. The spider legs were weird.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool because they came from a expanded universe design and they just incorporated it. But I thought it was... He has less spidery legs, I guess, with...
What's up?
Oh,
Comments.
hi.
Hey.
I like your whiteboard, Nicole.
Well, I feel like you guys are missing out in chat because Derek Monaco and Dogsthorpe have come up with the perfect fan film, except done by Pixar.
Oh.
They want to have a story about the guy raising his Rancor because he was so sad when Luke murdered it. And Pixar should do it.
Pixar would get...
They would make a 30-second short.
They would.
That would have everyone in tears. Nobody would talk. There's no dialogue. It's just this beautiful Rancor story. And we all want to leave the theater.
Yeah, I'm not into that. I don't go to a Star Wars movie to feel bad about my life. And,
And I don't know who those guys are. I've never met either one of them.
No, but thank you for watching. I mean, you guys are great. Random viewers that we have no idea who you are.
I'm pretty sure you pronounce that Dorico Manico. I know, right?
I don't care.
Oh, Jesus.
Uh-oh.
So let's get back to Rogue One.
Let's get back to this trailer.
You mentioned Alan Tudyk in there, and I know he was cast. And Alan Tudyk, if you guys don't know, he's a fantastic actor that pops up in a lot of things. You know him from Firefly as Wash. You know him from A Knight's Tale. He was one of Heath Ledger's friends in that. You know him from Wreck-It Ralph. He's King Candy.
Yep. He's a great voiceover artist.
He just did a Kickstarted Indiegogo, one of those crowdsourced campaign for a series about a person that was in a Firefly show that goes to conventions.
And it's great.
Yeah.
But he, in this movie, all that's really been confirmed is that he's playing a mocap character, and he's the voice of that character.
Which I think is the robot.
It's the droid.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's an Imperial droid that they reprogram, I guess, is what the rumor is. So that's pretty cool. And you can kind of see him walking behind Jyn in a couple of those shots. Or when she's running in the Death Star and it looks like she's got the stolen plans or whatever in her hand, you can see the robot running with her. And
is there any other character he could be playing, or is it just like...
not that I saw in this trailer. I mean, it's possible, I'm sure, but that seems the most likely character at this point.
Yeah.
Plus, he has some great voices, so I can see him doing a really cool robot.
What do you guys think about Donnie Yen in the trailer?
Oh my gosh.
Was he the blind one?
Well, we don't know that he's blind. But
right.
Yes,
well, he has...
the one that's rumored to be blind,
yeah, but he was the one, okay. I've never seen him really in anything else.
He was in Ip Man, and he's been in
haven't seen that.
Bunch of martial arts movies.
Yeah,
he's
very
he looked
well
cool. I mean, he
known.
took down like 3 or 4 stormtroopers with a stick, so that's something.
That was a very impressive scene. I would watch like 20-30 minutes of just that, so I hope that scene is definitely expanded on with good context behind it.
Do you think he's a Force sensitive though?
So
or
that's
not a Jedi, but just,
See, I think he might actually be a Jedi that survived Order 66, and
he's in
hiding, and he doesn't use a lightsaber because he doesn't want people to know he's a Jedi, but
that's possible.
The rumor is that he's blind.
Okay.
And there was a race in the Star Wars universe that was blind, and they used they're called Miraluka, and they used the Force to sense their surroundings, kind of like a Daredevil type thing.
Okay.
And, I mean, they usually wore something to cover their eyes,
right.
but it's entirely possible that they adopted that. I mean, the Old Republic is a video game that's going on right now, and it's still being updated and things, so I'm not sure if they consider it canon at this point, but that race is in that game. So it's kind of weird because they said everything current is canon,
it's
and
being
that's
updated
current.
still.
It is still. I mean, they just released an expansion for it not too long ago. So
that could be one of the ones that's considered.
But that would also mean Revan is canon too, because that's
that's
part of it. So I doubt it's canon, but I think Miraluka have been kind of
maybe that species
staple.
is considered canon.
Yeah, so that would be interesting if they actually introduced that character or that species into the movies. Even if they didn't, I hope he's a Force sensitive. I hope by the end he whips out a lightsaber. He pulls the top off that staff.
Something
and it's
happens.
A lightsaber or something. Yeah, that'd be great. I really like the fact that they're putting more of an Asian influence into Star Wars, because that's something they've always lacked. You have very Western fencing style with the sword play and things like that. So having a martial artist, an actual martial artist, come in and do that, I think will add a much needed flavor to the choreographed fight scenes. And he's one of the best martial arts choreographers
currently out there.
Out there, period.
Right,
so
the casting in this movie is actually very diverse and looks like very spot on. Like, for example, you said the actress who plays Mon Mothma, she looks like a younger version of Mon Mothma. She was in episode 3, but her scenes were cut.
Right.
It's the same actress, they brought her back so she'll actually have camera time. But she looks and sounds like Mon Mothma, and James Earl Jones is rumored to come back as the voice of Darth Vader. No one else really can do it except for him, honestly, but that's just me.
I'm sure somebody could, but it wouldn't be the same.
Well, I'm not saying that James Earl Jones isn't irreplaceable, because he is one of those actors to me that are a national treasure, and the day that we lose him is the day that I cry myself to sleep. And Sandlot,
I can't do Sandlot in the hyena voice.
You're fine.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Okay.
But there are some also very talented voice actors that have proven over the years, as we've lost other popular voice actors to fulfill what we need. I mean, Bugs Bunny and Winnie the Pooh go on. And stuff. So
but
it's possible.
Well, he's recorded stuff for Rebels, so I'm going to assume that he's doing stuff for this movie too.
He's working with Lucasfilm.
Exactly. So something. And then also rumored Grand Moff Tarkin is supposed to be in it in some form. We don't know really how.
Yeah, they want to use
it's like a
hologram technology,
something like that.
Or are they lifting scenes and making him
I
younger?
just don't see why they can't put an actor in prosthetics, because they did that for episode 3.
Well, he was so gaunt and thin that I feel like it would be really difficult to do.
Well, they did it for episode 3. They did. He was in it for 10 seconds at the very end, but
have they attempted mocap on making one person look like another person?
Well, I think that's what they did on Tron and
Chris Evans and Cap
and Ant-Man. I think they did the same thing.
They did aging technology or something like that.
well, then it could possibly work with that. That's my least concern is whether or not they get Grand Moff Tarkin right.
I think he's important to a lot of
he
fans.
Is
like he was the only character that could boss around Darth Vader, so it was a pretty big deal.
Speaking of bosses, it looks like we may get our first taste of a Grand Admiral in this as well, with the guy with the cape.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a Grand Admiral or not. I mean, based on the Imperial badges, he's definitely a high-ranking officer.
Well, I see with a cape, that's pretty high up.
I see his styling looks, and I'm going back to the Old Republic again, but in a lot of the non-canon storylines, he looks a lot like an Imperial agent, which is more like a James Bond. Like, they do a lot of infiltration type stuff. They have a lot of those capes and things like that. It seems counterintuitive to being stealthy.
It's very confusing to me as a fan who is just now learning all the expanded stuff. I mean, obviously, I grew up with this part of my culture, too, so I'm familiar with all the surface and most popular stuff, but the scene is very ominous. You get this solemn man in all white. And
he's holding a blaster.
He clearly symbolizes good, but at the same time,
he works for the Empire.
Yeah, capes are synonymous with the Empire in this. Like you have a robe or you have a cape, and you're good or you're bad, or Jedi or
Lando
Sith.
had a cape.
Yeah, but Lando sold out his friends.
That's true.
And
he was questionable.
Stole Han's clothes for some reason.
But he did. But he also ended up being a good guy. So I'm just saying.
Now, how good is he going to be when we find out that Lando and Leia had Finn?
I'm guessing that it probably isn't the case, but okay. I mean, if that's what happened.
That's one of my favorite fan theories.
It's a great one,
it's
but
one of the more ludicrous ones.
Yeah,
so I like it.
Pretty ludicrous. The scene with him, after that scene, you get to see the scene of him walking through the water with the stormtrooper bodies there, and it's like his cape is dragging in the water. He doesn't care. He doesn't care at all.
Honey Badger.
Right, yeah, that's where I was going with that. But I cut myself off. I didn't want a mistake like we had a couple weeks ago. But, I mean, he's obviously, like, so beyond caring with dead bodies all over the place. Yeah, it was cool.
It's very
and it's cool to see classic stormtroopers again. We haven't seen those since episode 6.
All the new troopers. This is a very trooper-centric movie.
There's death troopers or whatever they're
like
called,
several different types of death troopers. Yeah.
Somebody said there were sand troopers.
They look like desert troopers almost.
Okay.
It's very
and there are some green-looking ones you see running in the hallway.
Yeah.
Or those green ones you're talking about. I don't know which ones, but it's the director for this movie has really, I think, captured Star Wars.
Okay.
And not that, I mean, it is kind of hard to do. I mean, J.J. Abrams did a fantastic job, I thought. But he really captured, I think, the vibe and feel of what the original was.
I agree with that.
Not just with location, but with the surroundings, the set pieces, costumes, props, whatever it may be.
Star Wars, to me, always represented a duality within the system. It's, you have the dirty people scraping by, doing whatever they can just to live till tomorrow, and then you have the people that are clearly in charge, absolutely pristine, clean, and deadly, I guess. So the fact that they were able to capture that, which again largely missing in the prequels, largely. I'm impressed that people other than George Lucas understand this so much that they're willing to put their image forward, but still continue the image that we all have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a good job with it. Everything feels like you're in universe.
I agree. It's it's one flow. Nothing's just, diverting off to some unknown wherever.
Yeah, it's true. What about the scene with the proto-AT-ATs?
That's cool.
Beach. It's like storming Normandy. The whole movie gave me a very Vietnam era feel.
They even said this is basically a war movie.
Yeah.
Here's your war. There you go. It's basically not a whole war, but a good portion of it is a war.
Somebody close to me says that if he doesn't see flying dog fights, he doesn't want to watch this series, because Star Wars is about dogfighting with X-wings and TIE fighters.
There is that.
There is, and it's cool, but and who says we won't get that?
That's not.
Well, in that
it's
scene,
all about
in the scene with Donnie Yen,
exactly.
if you look at that in the background, there's a crashed X-wing behind him. So
obviously
happens. There's some sort of fighting. I mean,
right.
Come on, it's Star Wars. There's gonna be something like that.
Yeah, the Imperial Walkers are cool, and then we see a cloaked figure walking into a room with 2 Imperial guards
around what looks to be a bacta tank.
It seems, but we don't know who this person with the hood is.
We don't know who the person in the bacta tank is. It's being guarded by 2 Imperial guards. Obviously, somebody that's important.
So fans have thought that maybe that's Darth Vader in the bacta tank, but if it is, that person goes and kneels.
His casting
when does the Emperor kneel?
His casting was just announced today.
Not
James Earl Jones, but the gentleman who is going to be in the suit. He is.
Was it announced today?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He's being played by the blue alien in Guardians of the Galaxy who took Chris Pratt's headphones and was listening to Blue Swede.
Oh, at the prison?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's going to be played by him.
Not tall, is he?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Remember.
I mean...
Well, they could put lips in his shoes
yeah,
and stuff, but yeah.
Hayden Christensen wasn't incredibly tall, but he got the platform shoes, so... You're good. They'll figure that out.
I don't think it's Darth Vader in that bacta tank. I would assume that it's either the Emperor or it's the dude in the white that you see with the cape and everything. And that because you do see like an Imperial ship being blown up at one point. Mm-hmm. Maybe he was injured in that, and he's in the bacta tank. And obviously he's a high-ranking officer, so they would have.
I just want to know who that person is that's kneeling because it's not Vader.
No, it's not Vader,
and it's not the Emperor. So I want to know what other kind of dark-sided person that could be.
Yeah.
Fans have thought maybe it's an apprentice of Vader's because he has, he's taken on secret apprentices before, and that, who knows.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I'm sure whoever it is will be the most popular character in the movie. It seems to be that any Sith character that's introduced as an apprentice is always the most popular character in the movie. So
Saints Customs, you got your work cut out for you.
Oh yeah,
maybe that robe didn't look that complicated. So there was no Kylo.
Well, so far as we saw, we didn't see the front bit.
Anyway. So you guys can inform me, how much time do you think takes place between Rogue One and 4?
Not a lot.
Because the Death Star is pretty much complete.
I would say months, maybe.
Maybe a year.
Okay.
I don't even think it would be a year. I mean, it's when you look at the meeting room and everything that they have in Rogue One and the one that they have in Episode 4. I mean, everything looks so similar that, and even the characters that are in both of those scenes. There's the guy that does the briefing for all the X-Wing pilots and everything. I mean, I feel like it's got to be real close. They wouldn't let the Death Star just sit there. It's obviously just finished construction because you see that satellite dish kind of backing into it. So they wouldn't just let that sit once they've got the plans. So I feel like it's at the most a few months.
Now, do you think that place? Do you think it's Yavin?
Oh yeah, it's Yavin.
Because there's some fan speculation I heard that they think that it could be also Dantooine.
Yeah,
because you see Imperial walkers attacking it. The Empire didn't know they were on Yavin until Episode 4.
Well, we don't know that that's necessarily where they were attacking.
Well, you see a temple of some kind.
Yeah, you do, but I mean that doesn't necessarily mean it's the same place that you're seeing the base. Because obviously that didn't get destroyed between this and Episode 4.
But I think it would be cool if they did that for some reason because
it's so similar. It looks like that.
I think it is Yavin, but it would be kind of cool if they did that.
Yeah, I can't see any world that they would change that, but it would be interesting. That's for sure. It would have to be like a twist in the movie at that point.
Now, do you think that a young Princess Leia will make a cameo in this as well?
Doubt it. I mean, there's been rumors about some of the cast returning, but
because if this does take place, if they do steal the Death Star plans, basically it goes from stealing them to beaming them to her ship and her getting captured. Because I don't think they sit on those plans for very long.
No, I feel like that while Jyn is probably trying to get those plans, that there's a really close time frame to when Luke is in there rescuing Leia, so it's got to be pretty close.
Are they on the Death Star? I wonder, or that could be like a Star Destroyer or something.
When they're like running through the hallways and stuff. No, they're in the Death Star. I mean, everything. Okay. Everything looks exactly like it would in the Death Star. I don't think that's a Star Destroyer. I think that's a Death Star that they're in. I mean, she's obviously, has some affiliations with the Imperial at that point. So,
or she infiltrates them. She's a spy, something.
Which they wouldn't keep the plans on a Star Destroyer, I wouldn't think. But
who knows where they're keeping the plans? To be honest, that could be one thing that we're all speculating about, and it turns out to be it's in an innocuous droid that no one's paying attention to.
You mean like The Force Awakens all over again?
Yeah, maybe.
Shocker.
Hey, maybe they'll copy that this time. So that'll be a copy of Episode 4 for The Force Awakens, and they'll be copying The Force Awakens for
Rogue One.
And it's just going to be this vicious cycle.
Okay, so here's my concern. Since there's not any promise of a continuation, that sure, if Disney had their way, every film would spawn at least a trilogy, but there's no guarantee. Does Jen make it out alive?
I don't really care whether she does or not. I mean, whatever needs to be done to finish telling the story, I'm good with. I mean, if I love the character, then that's great. But if her story ends in this movie, then that's fine.
That's why I think it would be cool at the very end of the movie she doesn't make it, and she beams those transmissions to Leia's ship, because Leia says in Episode 4, Vader says that several transmissions were beamed to the ship.
Yeah.
So I think that would be cool with how they end that and they tie it directly straight into Episode 4.
Or do you guys think that, do you think, obviously they show the shot of her in the Imperial outfit at the end. Do you think that's her being infiltrating, or do you think that she actually ended up, like, because obviously they're implying that she's just doing it to infiltrate, but there's a lot of characters in the expanded universe that have gone from a good character in the Rebellion to an Empire character.
And vice versa.
Yeah. And there's some that have gone from the Rebellion to the Empire and then back to... Yeah, I mean, Mara Jade did that, and she's one of the most famous characters. And some people were actually guessing that this was her, and that this was going to be Luke's wife, the one that's buried in The Force Awakens.
She's buried? What?
The one that they speculated. There's a grave next to Luke in The Force Awakens. Yeah.
And so
there's a speculation that would be her, which I'd be cool with that too.
What is it with these women dating guys that are like 10 years younger?
Yeah, I mean, they would be about the same age.
No, she looks like she's in her mid-20s, and
early
Luke
30s,
is like
no
17,
way.
18.
She looks like she's
19,
20.
I disagree. Now, they might pull her off, but the actress looks like she's like mid-20s.
Even then,
20s.
Luke was maybe...
He was 16, 17.
He was 19. When Episode 4 happened.
There you go. So
he looks like he was 12.
He looks like he was 12. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But I mean, he's old enough to where it's feasible. It's only like going to be a 5 or 6 year difference.
All right.
You know, I think that's possible. But do you think she actually defects at the end? And you know, that would be an interesting story arc that we haven't seen in the movies before.
I agree.
To be an Empire character.
Yeah.
Watching somebody go from the Rebellion to the Empire would be good, especially if they're not Force sensitive at all, because I understand Anakin turning to have the power to prevent his visions and everything, but what does she get out of going to the Empire? Well, she gets a little more job security, just a little. I mean, they're still killed off by the hundreds.
Maybe her actual beliefs line up more with the Empire than they do the Rebellion. I mean, you don't really get the sense of what kind of character she is in this trailer.
Well,
other
you
than
see
you
her
get
in
the stupid line
handcuffs in the
like,
very first scene.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if she was in fact an Imperial, defected, or whatever. Because she's in handcuffs. They don't have her just walking willy-nilly.
No, they don't. They also list off a bunch of crimes.
Yeah.
But a lot of those crimes are against the Empire. So it's not... I mean, I think they were apprehending her for violent...
against any sort of...
Yeah. Or she could just be a smuggler.
Local government.
Right. And I think that's what... She's dressed like a traditional smuggler in the Star Wars universe. So I have a feeling that's what... And again, Kyle Katarn and Jan Ors in the expanded universe were both smugglers originally, and then they became Force sensitive.
Well, speaking of smugglers, Forrest Whitaker, we haven't talked about him yet.
At all. And he looks...
He plays a bounty hunter.
So cool.
So
he looks like a former bounty hunter that has had a rough life. Using a cane and has a weird
in all fairness, have you met real bounty hunters? They don't have like the easiest life.
No, that's true.
They tend to go out in rough ways.
But we don't really know if he's recruited. We're assuming that he's recruited by the Rebellion to help out this task force, spying, whatever it may be.
That's just it. We're all assuming that he's good. He could be going after Jyn. He could be going after anybody. Mm-hmm. Or he may, be the wise mentor that we need in this film. He could be the grumpy old man who wants you off his lawn. Maybe you disturbed his retirement. The cool thing is, from his 1 or 2 short scenes, there's nothing revealing about his character.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I like about this too. You don't really, what's going on. You know that there's a mission she's being sent on, steal the plans, but you don't know who these people are. That's it.
Yeah.
The hardcore fans know who Mon Mothma is, and
I did not know her name.
The Star Wars, the stormtroopers, and that's basically it. That's familiar.
Yeah.
Well, other than the locales and stuff, but as far as characters go, yeah, it's definitely true.
That helps out a lot. I mean, bringing in a bunch of new characters equals so much more for fans to take
merchandise sales for Disney and everything else.
More Black Series, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta get more shelves, Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've got to kill another 6 months with Force Awakens figures. So.
Yeah.
At least until the extended 8-disc release.
Right. Which I'm sure is coming.
All the lens flares.
Oh.
So many lens flares.
And then, speaking
Did you hear that his wife asked him to cut those out?
Yep, that's hilarious. But speaking of directors, the director of Godzilla is doing this.
Yeah,
you can definitely tell when you see that beach scene with the AT-ATs. It's pretty obvious. I liked Godzilla. It was a very good film. I liked it, cinematography wise.
It was very enjoyable.
And this doesn't necessarily look like Godzilla, obviously, but it still has
Which is a great sign of a director that you can move from style to style.
It doesn't look like Godzilla, but you get the same sense. Yes, you can tell that he uses the same techniques to kind of give scale to larger objects. Yeah, and in this case, we saw the Imperial Walkers, and that's
considering they look like it's more model based than CG based. That scaling is definitely needed.
Oh yeah, like the Death Star, that looked like a model. The Star Destroyers look like a model.
They really did.
It was more like, is that CGI? What is that?
It was CGI, but it looks really great. Yeah, definitely for sure.
What else? What else happened in the trailer?
We've talked about a lot of the trailer. The next anthology film is reported to be Han Solo. Mm-hmm. Now they still have time to change things up, but it's done. They're casting a young Han Solo. They've got about 45 million young white boys they're looking at.
I'm very worried about it.
I just want it to be Chris Pratt. He's basically already been Han Solo. This is great. It's perfect.
That's why they're not doing it, though.
A combination between his Guardians character and his Jurassic World character.
Perfect. Done.
But that's why they wouldn't.
Well, you take the best from the Jurassic World character, and then everything else. It's okay. It didn't break. We're good. Sorry, Derico, Monaco. I got really excited there. But you just cross those two, and then you got the perfect Han Solo.
My only thing is that he looks... Chris Pratt is older than what Harrison Ford was.
That's true, yeah. And they're definitely going for a really young...
You are going to have to find some crazy teenager that we don't really know about. I mean, as cool as it would be to have Jesse Pinkman be the young Han Solo.
Who? Don't necessarily agree with that, but I mean, I'm sure some people would.
Remember for a while the kid from Breaking Bad was rumored to be him. And he started his own fan campaign and everything after somebody had asked him about the rumor.
Well, and then someone said Miles Teller too, and I'm like, that's not.
No. See, Han Solo.
Is he related to Han Solo?
He's his distant cousin.
Yeah.
Han Solo can be a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot be Miles Teller.
No.
And it's because Miles Teller... How do I say this?
I don't know if there's an appropriate way to
He's
say
not
it.
handsome.
No.
He's not a handsome guy. He's not buff. Sorry, Miles Teller, you are not the leading man. You are not the Brad Pitt. You are not the Chris Pratts.
You're the funny sidekick at best.
At best. I mean, you're Reed Richards.
I'm glad I'm not Miles Teller.
No, he wasn't Reed
I would
Richards.
feel really bad about myself
He was a disaster as Reed Richards.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I never saw it.
I did, sadly.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. You're not missing much.
In all the films I've seen you in, Miles Teller, you are the friend.
I'm sure he's watching. We know he's watching.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that we're going to hear about that.
# Miles Teller friend zone. Making it happen.
Oh, it's going to happen. I can see it going wide right now.
But yeah, so we have the Han Solo, which is rumored to be how him and Chewbacca kind of meet, and then the smuggling days.
Chewie owes him a life debt. And that's why they initially got together, and then they just became the best bros of all bros.
Yeah.
And I think it would be cool to see him on Wookiee World.
Kashyyyk?
Yes, I know. But Wookiee World sounds better.
It sounds like a theme park.
I would go! The Wookiees are my favorite part of Star Wars.
Yep.
And the fact that we only get a 5-second scene of Kashyyyk.
That's why you need to play the video games.
Yeah.
So she can go to Wookiee World. You can live on Wookiee World.
I will live
so
on
many
Wookiee
things
World.
on Wookiee World.
Oh, so much.
Dude, you have no idea. I'm going to Build-A-Bear this weekend. I'm building a Wookiee.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
They have Wonder Woman outfit there. You could do a Wookiee Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Please do.
Wookiee Wonder Woman.
Please do.
I mean, that's
Headcanon accepted.
perfect. Disney, buy DC and make this happen.
Yeah, oh, wow.
I can't even pretend. That's
Okay.
I'm still trying to get Warner Brothers to buy Star Trek for Derek so he can actually have the Star Trek Green Lantern movie he's always wanted.
I'm sure that's gonna happen.
Top
guys.
priority.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they got
There
it.
we go.
It's happening. You heard it first
Here's
here.
the thing. All these different stories that we want to happen, it is possible that since Disney and Marvel have really good rapport with Netflix, that they could do something like they're doing with a few other things. Like they gave Arrested Development that 4th season, and here's something interesting. It's not too relevant, but they extended the Gilmore Girls into 4 90-minute movies.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just basically long episodes. I know a lot of people are excited for it, but I think it'd be fantastic if we got that with Star Wars. Short stories that follow interesting characters from their point of view. You don't have to turn an antagonist into a protagonist in 90 minutes. You could just tell a small chunk of their story. So we get these tiny anthology films that maybe won't do well on the big screen,
but will do well on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
that's
Netflix has less restrictions.
I
What
would
would you
take my idea for following a bounty hunter in the underworld of Coruscant and do that. That's a series I would watch the heck
That was
out of.
originally the TV series that was playing way back after
They were going to make
episode
a
3.
video game similar to that too,
And
for
then
a
they
while,
canceled that.
And they canceled it, but yeah, I think that would do really well on Netflix. You could get a
Oh, yeah,
grittier tone.
oh, yeah.
And it could still and not be like Daredevil R-rated like violence, but you could do
Right.
something more than
You
what
can
you can
push
do.
it.
Yeah, more than what you would do. You don't have to have any Jedi in it. You
People
just
can
do.
die from the blasters and that
Oh,
just
yeah.
fine.
Absolutely.
But you could do it the way like Hunger Games do. People die all the time in there, but it's still a PG-13 movie
Right.
because you just slightly pan away after the death.
Right,
You don't
yeah.
focus on it.
Yeah.
I'd be good with that. I think that would fit right up the alley for
I'd watch that. That was
Netflix.
great.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that'd
yeah.
be sweet. That would probably even be better than doing a movie like that. A series like that would be the way to do it.
Continuing that story
Yeah.
and getting all in the nooks and crannies, of course.
I
that
mean,
would be
an
fantastic.
anthology
And
thing
you
would be
can-
cool, but
Would you have it take
Yeah.
place though between
I just
a certain
think
time period?
that an anthology movie like for
You'd get more
Darth Maul
stories.
would be the only way you would
Yeah,
see
that's
that is
true.
on a Netflix platform and
Yeah.
not on the big screen.
See, I'd probably do that like sometime around A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, so you can, if you really want to
So
get some
after
backstory on
the
some
Empire
of those.
kind of not crumbles, but after the Death Star gets exploded.
Right, and that's going to be a lot
Gets
more
exploded?
work
Is that
for.
it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Gets destroyed.
That's the one.
They're going to be looking for bounty hunters to do the work. The Empire's going to, so there's going to be a lot more call for it. And you can get some of the backstory on some of those
lesser
bounty hunters who
known,
see
yeah.
IG-88 and all those guys that are in the lineup in Empire.
Disney, do this.
Do
Yeah,
this.
Right? I would watch that.
Do it.
So, do we want to talk at all about the controversy that hit like 5 seconds after the
The one where people
Trailer?
are being stupid?
yes?
Well, might as well.
We've got like 4 or 5 minutes left before this is over, so
Yeah.
basically, do we really care if Star Wars has 2 movies back to back with female leads?
No, I want them
I mean,
to have
we
more
don't at
movies
the
with
table,
female
but-
leads.
I'm sure some people do. I mean, obviously some people do.
I'm a little more passionate about it than others. Above all else, I want a good story.
Yeah.
Star Wars has followed male characters and female characters in the past in the expanded universe in video games and in the movies. I don't care. It sucks as a female to, before this, really only have like 4 characters to dress up as without putting creativity spins on it. But at the same time, if Jyn is a compelling female character, I don't care. If I look at it and I think this character would have worked better as a male, I will admit it. That's not a big deal for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I people can say what they want about a female lead. I just want the best movie I can in any of the franchises I love, whether it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters,
So you'd be fine
Star
with
Wars.
4 female Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
If that was what the story called for, and it was a used as a plot device rather than just a let's do this for fun, then yeah, I would think that's fine.
Let's be honest. In that case, it would turn out to be like an Alvin and the Chipmunks and the Chipettes thing.
I feel like it probably would. Yeah. But I mean, in any case, I just want it to be good. For it.
Yeah.
And that's all I want. If the best story that they could tell for Rogue One has a female lead, then that's awesome, and I want to see that. If it's a male lead, that's awesome, and I want to see that. I don't care.
Well, here's the thing.
I agree.
Back then, Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia was a very strong woman. She got in the grit. She, fired blasters. She was the leader of the rebellion. She was a role model for a lot of young girls growing up. Same thing with Padme.
Padme wasn't as strong.
No, she wasn't as strong, but she was still...
She was a child queen, and she was...
She was still a leader. She had responsibility. Mm-hmm. She was, still in the political ground. The problem with her characters
that because she was so young throughout the whole thing, and in a position of power, she had too many people that didn't have her best interest and had their best interest in hand. She was like if let's see here, if I'm gonna put this in Disney terms, if it was Snow White as a queen with Jafar as the advisor. Okay. Like that's nice.
I can see what you're talking about.
Nice innocent Snow White getting taken over, but she also carried blasters and rode on the Jedi ships. She could handle her own in the fights. But she just wasn't that smart of a queen. So
Star Wars they've always had, people for, any sex to look up to. They've had, more males, obviously, but I think that her being a female will, help a lot of young girls out, especially seeing what she does.
The complaint is more that they had Rey be the focus of Force Awakens, and now immediately after that, Jyn Erso is
yeah, but she was announced...
Also, which... Again, I don't care about
a while back that it was going to be a female lead. She was announced. It was a while back, and then people were like, "Oh, whatever."
I don't think they really took it seriously, and then you see the trailer,
then you see it, they're like, "Oh, they actually followed through with it."
Lead. I think people thought it was going to be more of like a group dynamic, not like Suicide Squad, but I mean, a group of people that infiltrated.
Which it probably will be, but we shouldn't see that in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the rebels have to have a leader. You have to have a squadron leader actually in the fight, I guess. So that's what Jen's going to be.
Exactly.
They're going to focus on other characters. Everybody thought that it was just going to be about Rey, and to be honest, Finn and Kylo got the exact same amount of screen time, the exact same amount of story development, and you got all three of their motivations. And really, Poe was the only new character kind of pushed to the side.
And he got shafted.
But he wasn't forgotten.
No.
And you definitely think he's going to continue, especially with his new comic book releasing this past week.
Yep.
He wasn't even supposed to. He was supposed to die after he left the planet at the beginning, and they just kind of added him in later. That's why it was kind of awkward. And it's like, sweet jacket, bro. Yeah, bro. High five, bro.
I actually think they did that because Oscar Isaacs kept getting more and more work. Like, he just won a Golden Globe, and that's kind of cool.
And he booked Apocalypse for X-Men.
Yeah, he's playing Apocalypse. So those are heavy titles to his name. Might as well keep this guy around. And if he bites the dust Han Solo style in the next one, then...
has a baby that murders him?
That'd be cool. I actually was thinking about the Carbonite, where you didn't know between the 8th and 9th if he's coming back or not. But...
that could be something.
Except he actually dies in the Carbonite, and everybody's like, oh.
Yeah, they take him out, just...
yeah, they take him out, and he's like a skeleton. It's like,
just poke him.
Dear.
Well, that's when Snoke is like, see, that's what that's supposed to do.
Right.
You're not
you guys,
supposed
it took us so long to perfect this.
Yep, but we got it.
We got it now.
Carbonite kills.
Yep.
That's right.
But no, I think that, no matter what, the fans who are saying, we don't want any more female leads or whatever, if you don't go see the movie, I don't think Disney will be upset.
Because at the same time, it's going to bring in a bunch, whether you like it or not, it's bringing in a female audience.
Exactly.
It really will. My nieces are 9 or 8 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to see Star Wars. And now they want to see the rest of Star Wars. They'll want to go see Rogue One. And, now they're Star Wars fans. They really didn't have an interest before, and now they do. So... like it or not, new fans are bred by new heroes.
And like it or not, there are women in the galaxy too.
You couldn't tell? You had no clue?
No.
But they're there.
There they are.
Yeah.
There's more than 2.
Well, obviously, if there's people that are young, and then there's probably women, unless they're all just like virgin birth
or
from
the
Force.
Like the Kryptonians where they've got like the wombs hanging off trees.
I'm sure that's what it is in Star Wars.
Yikes.
But no, I'm very excited for this because it's
I am too.
It's another Christmas present for me, and it's coming out in IMAX again. And Force Awakens in IMAX was great.
Yes, it was beautiful.
So it's, I mean, everyone was very concerned about Disney acquiring Lucasfilm at first, but so far they have knocked it out of the park.
I have to say, a lot of people contacted me the very next morning after the Disney Marvel deal was announced, and I was like, no, you have no idea. This is going to be the greatest. Because Marvel Studios was an independent movie company at first. They weren't making, Iron Man is probably one of the most successful indie films, believe it or not, and they didn't
acquire it before, after.
They acquired it in between Hulk and Iron Man 2.
Yeah, that was it.
So they've done me right through that. The overarching story is great. I know there's only 4 or 5 just standalone fantastic films that you take away from the MCU and can hold their own, but the overarching story is beautiful, and Disney is doing that with Star Wars, like it or not.
Oh yeah. I think we're the best.
Well,
so far at least.
I think that's all we really have to say about Rogue One. We're all really pumped, obviously. Not a lot of criticism based on it. We'll be
back in December for our actual review.
Right. We'll mention some trailers throughout the year or two. Any questions, comments that we have to address before we go?
Everyone hates Venus from Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, poor girl.
She was a little weird. They just kind of did that. That wasn't executed well.
They could have done it much better.
Why did she need boobs on her shell? Yeah, that's a little weird.
I mean, if the guys aren't gonna get turtle dicks, I don't want to see turtle boobs. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's more of a mammal thing than it is a reptile thing.
Exactly.
I don't really get it, but
you don't need boobs if you're not giving milk.
True.
Turtles don't do that.
Last I checked,
Let's have an entire podcast next week about turtle milk, whether or not it should exist.
I will not be here for that one.
It does not make me thirsty.
I
don't want any of that on my cereal.
That one. No. Sorry.
No, tell us what you want us to do next week. We've gotten some cool suggestions before, so we're always interested. We had an idea to fan cast Extended Justice League when they get to that point in the DCEU. We've had ideas for where certain movies went wrong. I can't wait to pick you apart, Bryan Singer. I hate your guts.
I liked his first X-Men.
Stop it.
I liked X-Men.
Stop it.
The sexy men.
We're stopping this.
Focus, Ian.
Okay. Bring it in.
Yeah, where movies went worse, we fan cast. What else do we do?
I want to do another What If series.
The What Ifs?
I want to do another one of those.
Okay, let's do a What If. Give us a What If. What if this happened in a film? What if Kay never died and never left the MIB?
What if Bruce Wayne was the one that cracked? Or what if Thomas and Martha Wayne were the ones that caught Superman's thing when he came in from space?
Oh,
I think that's been done in a comic book, but I think so. It'd be interesting to talk about. No, we're not talking about that right now, even though Rachel's tempted.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about it. All right, we'll come up with a what if. We'll do it next week. If you have any questions, of course, comments, any topics, let us know. Guys, where can we reach you?
Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Buster Props, the easiest way to find me. Or through the grid, leave nasty comments. And my name is Derek again, so make sure you address them to me.
Facebook for me, Haus of Turner Cosplay. It's Haus, because why?
Because you're fancy.
There we go.
Your name's also Derek?
Yeah, my name's also
so any
Derek.
Complaints, make sure you address them to Derek.
Same, I'm Derek from Super Sirens.
I am Derek. A kiss.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and I have my own website, supersirens.com. You can always check out the grid. We are on every social media. It's either Grid Daily or Grid_Daily or Grid/Daily. Either way, if you go to griddaily.com, you can be directed to all of this. Thank you so much for joining us.
May the Force be with you all.